All right, what's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me. Can you hear me? Great. I love to see cameras on, or you know what I'm going to do. I'm throwing people out. Good to see you, Marta. Good to see you. We got Branislav in the house, and Michael and John. We got Arham. We got Effie, Jerry. Good to see you. Got our investment club representing here, Roberto. I see Dr. Encore in the house as well, which is great. Another member of our investment club. Look, folks, I get a lot of DMs and emails from you, and a lot of people just wanted me to just back things up a bit because for the last couple months, I've been telling you about the hot artificial intelligence investments we're making, the hot investments we're making in the metaverse, the big return wins that we've had on some of our DeFi protocols. We're putting in money in tokens, we're putting in money in equity, we're doing really well. But some people said, Brian, what's venture capital? And I don't really understand the basics. By the way, raise your hand if that might be you. You want me to just talk about some of the basics of what's going on here. Okay, that's okay. It's okay. I mean, we can always all use a little bit more education. And so I thought I would just try to back it up a little bit tonight and just change the format a little bit and make it a little more interactive as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about what is venture capital? Like, why are we doing this? Why is it important that you do this or have a little bit of your portfolio potentially in this? And I'm going to answer questions along the way as well. And this is something I normally don't do. Usually I wait till the very end to get questions. So just so I know your questions are coming through, can everybody just type in right now what city you're in? Because I want to just see that I'm getting messages from everybody. I think they might just come straight DM to me, so not everybody might see them. But if you could just type in the city you're in, and let me just see if I'm getting some of those things coming through. Also, turn the cameras on, because I'm throwing people out if cameras aren't on. So Sean Breen, Amy, Andrew McDonald, Beth Gross, even Ann, I need to see your faces. Sean Orr, I got to see your faces. So we've got John in New Jersey, we got Marta in Poland, we got Troy in Texas. Nice. Troy, looks like I'll be in Texas on Tuesday. Go figure. And we got Jerry in Vancouver, of course, one of our own. We got Yvette in Brighton. That's nice. I went to interview I was in Fat Boy Slim's house in Brighton a couple of years ago doing an interview. You can watch that on our website. And otherwise, can you just type in the city year and that would be great. And again, I just need to see some beautiful faces. Thank you, Roberto, Dean, Abby, Sean, Andrew, Amy, Yvette, and even Dr. Encore. It's your last chance because I need to see everybody here. I need to see some vibes and energy, even through so as well. And this is a really special one tonight because I'm going to be answering questions, which is fantastic. Again, please then type in the city that you're in. It comes to me as a DM, but I really want to see what's going on with everybody. And then I want to explain to you what venture capital is. And like I said, answer some questions. And of course, I also want to share with you a couple of secret things that we're doing in the background as well. So Anne's working on getting her camera started. Don't give me those, my camera's not working excuses. I've heard them all before. All right. I need to see the whites of your eyes. I have meetings sometimes with people we're going to invest in. And if I don't see their faces, I like hang up on the call. So I got to see faces. Alex, Dean, Abby, Sean Breen. Last chance, buddy. I'm throwing you out. Sorry, you're gone. And Andrew McDonald, I'm going to throw you out as well. All right. So can everybody else put their camera back on and we can get started here. And Martini, just throw anybody out if you don't see cameras on as well. Okay, cool. Let's go, shall we? I just cooked up this presentation. I want to drop some science, also drop a couple deals that we're putting in, including a press release we dropped yesterday on one of our deals. And I want to show you how you can create generational wealth in a couple of years. It usually takes 20, 30 years to make the kind of money that we're going to make in a few years. And that's what tonight is all about. Sound good for everybody here? Ready to go? Uh-oh, Beth Gross is driving. I don't know if I want to see that. So, okay, thank you, Beth, for turning the camera on. We believe you. Abby, Dean, and Alex, it's your last chance. And let's go ahead and get this thing started. So this is our presentation right now. Just give me thumbs up if you can see this in your screen. Sean, can you see that? John, can you see that? Troy, Marta. Okay, cool. So I want to show you how to make money with venture capital. I worked on Wall Street when I was 22 years old. I started my career there as a derivatives trader, and I worked in the finance business at the top levels of international finance for 15 years. I moved to Chicago. I worked at the First National Bank of Chicago. I moved to London, where I worked here for 10 years in credit derivatives. And I'll tell you one thing, folks. They don't want you to know what I'm going to show you now. Okay, the banking industry doesn't want you to understand how wealthy people make money in venture capital. What they want you for is you're there when these people want to cash out. and take their profits. That's what the public is for. Does that make sense to everybody here? Just thumbs up if you kind of understand. Has anyone ever bought a share of a stock on the stock market? Come on, you know you have. A share of Tesla maybe, or a share of Apple, anything like that, right? Jerry has, right? Okay. John Leshek has as well. That's great. But the thing is that the person that sold you that share bought it from the company sometimes 5 years, 8 years earlier for 1/100th of the price or 1/1000th of the price. And when they sell it to you, they're taking their profits. Does that make sense to everybody, John? I'm sorry to hear that, Jerry. That makes the news because, you know, they don't do you any favors on Wall Street, okay? They're not like doing something nice for you. I worked with these people for a long time and it's all about the bucks. That's what it is. It's just all about money and nothing else matters. People will sell their own mothers to make a buck. I've seen it happen. All right. And so just understand that when they offer something to you, it's because it's already been through the ringer 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And a lot of other people have made money off that. And by the time you get to look at it, it's usually lost most of its upside value. Does that kind of make more sense to everybody here? So what we want to do is we want to go to the well and get that fresh water from the well that no one's touched before. And that's how we're going to make these outsized returns. Unfortunately, this isn't taught in schools. Funny that. Wall Street doesn't teach you about it as the public. And so what happens? The rich get richer, right? The rich get richer. How many people think that's probably true? The rich get richer and the poor stay poor. So again, most people were taught about money at school, or they were not taught about money at school. The wealthy get richer because they have private bankers and they see this deal flow. Also, is anybody here an accredited investor? Raise your hand if you're an accredited investor. Not many hands going up, which means this. It means that if you're not an accredited investor, which means you're not rich, you cannot even get in on some of these deals. Does that sound like a scheme to you, right? So literally the poor stay poor and the rich get richer almost by law with some of these arrangements. So I'm going to show you how you can actually break free from that, educate yourself, and get involved in what we're seeing right now is some of the most incredible investment opportunities are happening right now because the markets had a tough year last year. Most of the capital got squeezed and the company valuations are really, really cheap, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Really, really cheap. It's kind of after the financial crisis in 07, 08, real estate was cheap. Everything was cheap because everybody had been crushed. We are picking up assets that are going to be worth, we think 100 times, 200 times more and is very, very quickly because we are willing to deploy capital right now when no one else is. The problem is this won't last for very long. Within 3 months, the capital is going to start to come back in and we're going to have a harder time getting these deals done. But right now we're in the driver's seat and I want to show you why. So by the way, the only reason we're able to do this is because of this, what you're seeing on the screen. This is London Real Ventures. And this is something that I created about 2 years ago. And it's the world's first media-powered investment firm. It's never been done before in history that I've ever seen, where someone's taken a highly developed media platform. For us, that's 12 years, 1,000 long-form interviews, 1 billion views, 5 million worldwide subscribers, and plugged in basically an investment firm into it. No one's ever done this before. I don't know why. It seems pretty obvious to me. But I think that people in the media business don't know much about the finance business, but I came from finance, right? I ran away from finance. That's why London Real was started. I wanted to get away from the greedy bankers, right? And so now I've come full circle. What did Al Pacino say in the movie Godfather 3? What did he say, Dr. Encore? He said, just when I try to get out, they drag me back in. All right, so that's what's happened here. But actually, I like this now because I'm empowering all my London Reelers and I'm getting them in on deals that you would never, ever see. Again, raise your hand if you're in the club right now, Jerry and Encore. I mean, Jerry, you seeing the deals in here. They're pretty off the wall, right? I mean, the stuff we're seeing is just, it's blowing everyone away. We got about 65 people right now in our investment club. And the artificial intelligence deal we're looking at is just mind-blowing. The Web3 deal we're looking at is mind-blowing. The one we just closed right here, Vadim on the screen, mind-blowing. It's just pretty incredible what we're actually getting done here. And so what we have is a very rare opportunity. It's probably only going to exist for a couple of years before I think maybe another one will come along. But we have capital, we have media, I have connections, and I've got customers. And we put them all together, and it's a lethal combination. And guess what? The venture capital firms and the companies themselves, they're starting to take notice. to where they return my phone calls right away. And Dr. Encore can tell you here, who's part in our investment committee, that wasn't even happening 9 months ago. They wouldn't return our phone calls 6 to 9 months ago, but now they see what we offer, and they're literally they're drooling for it. They're licking their lips, because what a company needs more than anything is not cash. It needs customers more than anything. Is that clear to everybody here? It needs customers, because a company is only based on its future cash flows. If you cut it a check, it's that old analogy, right? You want to feed a man, you give him a fish. No, you teach him how to fish. And so a company ultimately wants customers. They want more of that, more than money. And that's what we give them. And we give them media exposure, which gives them more customers. So we've really hit something special here. And the beautiful thing for me is I can pass all this on to my core family and community of London Reelers. This is the best of all of our London Reelers. They come into this group. And we're probably going to be together for the next 10 years, just crushing it, right? Crushing it. We're going to be the ones lighting our cigars with like $100 bills and stuff, right, Martini? Okay, we'll see. If we start doing that, just somebody grab us and say, slow it down, guys. If you see Martini walking down the Vegas Strip, lighting her cigar with a $100 bill, just say, easy, girl, just slow it down a little bit. So again, if we do get a little crazy here, just check us, okay? Because it's about to get filthy rich, I think, inside our club. So again, just to be clear, this is what we bring to the table. We bring what I call our quadruple threats. Now, they say Britney Spears was a triple threat, right? She could sing, she could dance, and she could act. Respect, all right? That's what Hollywood calls a triple threat. In London, I call it a quadruple threat. I've got production. I can sit you in the chair and create a 2-hour interview that's going to show the very best you. I'm telling you. I mean, when I put people in the leather chair, they always say it's the best interview they've ever had, and I agree with them. We really get the best vision of where they want to go in the future, who their company is, who they are as a person, because we invest in people at the end of the day. So we create that. Next, we have distribution. I cut that into 20 different pieces, and I blast it out to my 5 million subscribers worldwide. But guess what? We're just getting warmed up. Next thing I do is I connect you to my 1,000 different crypto, non-crypto, AI, non-AI, Web3, non-Web3 influencers. I can put you in touch with a Navy SEAL if you want. I can put you in touch with a pro boxer. I can put you in touch with over 50 billionaires if that's what you need. Whatever you need, we'll make the introductions. You want more funding? I know venture capital people, all that. And then of course, finally, number 4, we also cut you a big fat check, right? So that's big too, because there's a lot of companies out there that want to just do media, but nobody trusts those companies. We cut you a check. So I don't charge you money. I give you money on top of all that. This gets a lot of people's attention. All right. Does that make sense to everybody, by the way, that quadruple threat? Does that make sense? Okay. So that's why I'm even here talking about this. And so that's what's going on behind the scenes. By the way, this is our portfolio currently, although it's changing very fast. We'll probably add 3 more companies to this portfolio in the next 6 weeks, I'd say. So you see companies like Vatum on the upper left. Orange Comet is our digital collectible metaverse play. Upper right-hand corner, bottom is Cross the Ages, the most highly anticipated metaverse game in Europe and the world. It's out there crushing it right now. I actually just downloaded it on my mobile phone. I was playing it over the weekend. It's sick. DeFi Yield Up, Swissborg. We've just got crazy deals. And then I can't even talk about some of the other deals. And you can see the stats on the bottom, right? 12 years broadcasting, 5 million subscribers, 5 length documentary films, over 1,000 interviews, a billion views. It gets people's attention. So this is why we're having so much success. And we're currently investing over $3 million in 3 hot deals this quarter. So again, what I'm about to teach you is not taught by some professor or not some podcaster that read a book. We are actually investing this money. And I would always say, learn from people that are actually doing it. That's what you want to do, as opposed to people that are just talking about it. So let's jump into it. Oh, by the way, I also want to talk about the OpenAI killer. This is the hottest AI deal that we've ever seen. I personally think it could be the hottest AI deal we ever see, because and honestly, in the next 12 months, there's going to be one AI deal that wins. And I don't think there's going to be any more AI deals. There might not be any more deals, but don't get me started about AI. We think it's crucial for humanity that we are involved in this deal, and we're super excited about it, and we're raising a lot of money for it right now. So that's what's happening. Today, I want to talk about 3 things. First of all, how do you make money with venture capital? A lot of you don't know this. You were never taught this. I went to the Sloan School of Management, one of the top business schools in the world. They didn't teach me about venture capital. To be honest, they just didn't. So it's not like everybody knows this. On Wall Street, I wasn't taught venture capital. I was taught how to trade derivatives. In Wall Street, there's like 100 different verticals that you can be in, and you don't always know what's going on. So again, if you don't understand this, don't feel bad. It takes action and it takes doing. So 3 things I want to talk about tonight. What is venture capital? Where and how do we invest in venture capital? And then I want to show you how you can create the generational wealth. Or as Dan Pena would say, how do I get the effing money, right? How do I get the effing money? That's what we want to know. Who wants to know that? Yeah? Okay. That's what Dan always says. How do I get the effing money? Okay, cool. We'll get to that. So let's start with a definition. Pay attention. This is really important. What is venture capital? Okay, let's really think about it. Venture capital is simply this. It's a form of private equity financing, which means you buy a percentage of the company, right? You buy a piece of the company, 1%, 5%, 10%, 50%, okay? That provides the capital needed to early stage, high potential startups, all right? London Real was one of these 12 years ago, right? I was a startup. I had high potential. Nobody knew it. I didn't actually ask for money because I had some money, but I could have easily been one of these companies, right? And the aim of investing in these companies is to try to generate significant returns through their growth and their eventual exit. Now, who here knows how you exit? Put your hand up if you know how a company exits. Any guesses? Type it in the chat if you know. Well, I put a list of them here. A company can merge with another company. That's one way where the company can exit, right? So what's a good example? Well, Google bought the company DeepMind a few years ago. DeepMind was one of the top artificial intelligence companies in London. They paid $500 million for it, which for Google is like, you know, they just sneezed and 500 million comes out. And they bought it, they acquired it basically. And so that meant that if you were a shareholder of Google, of DeepMind in London, and maybe you invested in the company 5 or 10 years before at probably, I don't know, a 10 million valuation, maybe you would have made a 50x return on your investment. Is that clear for everybody here? Google probably gave them Google shares and cash. They probably gave them half and half. That's typically what people do with a buyout. So you would have got half the cash, half Google shares, which probably if you held on would have made more money until now. And now you're not making money on your Google shares. What else can you do? You can do an IPO. You can sell shares to the public as a company. Once that happens, you as an investor can also sell shares to the public and you can cash out some of your investment. Making a little more sense so far to people? Okay, and I want to give you an example of this soon. So this is a way of investing your money, okay? And it's something to really think about. And again, this is how we do it. So we dropped this press release, and this article was written about us. This is London Real investing in Vatum, okay? And this is our latest startup that we're so excited about. And again, they're in the metaverse and digital asset management. Their CEO, Eric Poulier, is amazing. And we cut them a check. I think we cut him a $600,000 check. And of course, he's going to be on the show next month. And of course, we're going to be promoting them across all the platforms. So this is what venture capital is. We took a chunk of money. We could have gone and bought Tesla shares with it, right? I could have bought gold. I could have bought Bitcoin. I could have put it in the bank and hoped that it would not disappear. These are all, I could have bought a house. These are all choices, but instead I decided to invest it in this company because I believe it's going to make significantly higher returns than my bank account, real estate, Bitcoin, commodities. So we invest in this as part of our diversified portfolio. Is that making a little more sense to everyone here? Okay, and if you have any questions, type them in the chat and I'll try to stop in here and just check in with everybody. So let me just stop and just check in the chat and just make sure how we're doing with everybody. I want to see if I can keep everybody in here as well. Okay, so John's saying it's making sense. Jerry's saying it's exciting. Yvette said it sounds amazing. Okay, it is amazing, right? But what I want you all to make sure is it's not complicated. Wall Street tries to make this complicated. They got funny names and funny terms, and they want to make you all scared and make you trust them with your money. Then they steal it from you, is what they do. Is that clear? Everybody here, you got that? Troy, you got that? Epi, you got that? That's what they do. They take 6 to 8% of global GDP every year. The banking system sucks out like a big vacuum cleaner, just takes it. And you don't even know what's happening. You're like, no, Brian, I don't pay any fees on my savings account. Oh yeah? You don't know you don't pay fees, but you pay fees on everything. You ever notice how your bank always wants to sell you something new, right? Let me give you this new credit card. Let me do your mortgage for you. Let me offer you a way to save for your retirement. Let me help you with your children's financing for school. Let me help you with your pension. Does anyone ever see that from your bank, right? Do you think they're just being nice? No, that's where they got the big margins, is when they start selling you products. All right. That's what they do. So it's just like selling you a holiday. It's the same thing. It just looks like a financial product. So let me go a little bit deeper here and talk about like next step. So where and how do we invest? That's the next question. And again, ask me any questions along the way. I want to tell you exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, so you can get more of a feel for this, and I'll show you exactly how we're doing it. Well, you got to go find those deals, and you want to have the hot deals. We were talking to the investment club last night, and there was a famous quote from Groucho Marx. He was one of the Groucho brothers, right? One of these funny guys back in the day. And he always had a phrase. He said, I would never want to belong to a club that would have me as a member. Has anyone ever heard that phrase before? Right? You see what he's saying? He's like, if I'm good enough to be in your club, I don't want to be in your club because you're accepting a bunch of goofballs and losers, right? That's the way I feel about deals. Like, if you allow me in your deal, I'm like, wait a second, what's wrong with this deal? What, do I have sucker written on my forehead here? Like, what? I don't want in on your deal. I always feel this way. I'm always really suspicious of any opportunity, right? We used to book guests on the show, and as soon as we booked a guest, I'd be like, wait a second, what's wrong? There's something wrong. That was too easy. They should have refused. It should have taken us a year, 2 years to book that guest. No, Brian, they were in town. They're doing a book review. Wrong answer. There's a problem here. You should have gone bigger. Cancel them. That's what I used to say, right? And so I'm always worried and I want to make sure I want to be the last dollar in on the last day of the deal. That's what I want. And I want all of this smart money to go in beforehand. So I'm investing alongside the biggest funds in the world, and then we get in at the last minute. Is that clear for everybody? That way I know a deal is hot. If we're the first ones in on a deal, I'm just like, something's wrong here. Something doesn't smell right. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. Let's get out. So we got to find the hottest deals, because there's a lot of lousy deals out there. There's a lot of garbage companies. There's a lot of people peddling you their ideas for a company, and they're never going to make a dollar. You got to stay away from those. You have to be very careful. So what do? We get out there and talk to people. And this is what I do, and everyone inside my investment club. It's all about deal flow, deal flow, deal flow. We want to hear what deal is happening. We want to hear the terms. I want to see the pitch deck. I want to know who's involved. I want you to tell me a secret about the CEO. I want you to share some confidential information about cash flow. I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. So I'm out there talking to everybody I can, privately, in person, online, on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on Signal, on Zoom, sometimes on my episodes. Sometimes after the episode finishes, I keep talking to the guests, and they tell me the real story that we can't share in front of you. That's what I'm doing. And that's why I travel the world. I just mentioned it. I mean, told Martina, I'm going to Texas on Tuesday. All right. I just booked the flight. So I'm going to Texas on Tuesday. I didn't tell Encore I'm going to Texas, because the consensus conferences there, where all the hottest Web3 companies are going to be there. And a bunch of people want to meet with me because they know what we're doing with London Real Ventures. And they're like, Brian, we've got a couple deals. Aren't you going to be a consensus? And I was just like, actually, I wasn't going to be, because I was in Paris last month. And then I was like, I need to be in consensus. So I'll be in Texas for probably the hottest blockchain conference in the United States. But I'm everywhere. So this is me in Dubai in October, and I'll be back here in Dubai this October. I'm already there. I'll be on stage 3 days in a row, speaking, doing everything behind the scenes. Here, I'm meeting with all the major influencers. I'm meeting with the members of the government. I'm meeting with the venture capital companies that have $5,000 bills on their wall. I'm really jealous of that sculpture, by the way. I'm going to have to steal that from Cypher Capital. And a bunch of other high net worth individuals. I'm doing this everywhere. This is me in Paris last year, having private dinners with investors, meeting with our portfolio companies, doing media for Kitco News. I filmed a documentary. I was doing all sorts of stuff. All right. And of course, this is me in London at Token 2049, hanging out with Yatsu of Animoca Brands, hanging out with our portfolio companies, meeting people from the press, and of course, hanging out with the alpacas, our four-legged friends. So that's what I was doing. And of course, I was in Paris 2 weeks ago, connecting with people like Tim Draper. That's actually Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni from Dubai, but he wasn't wearing his robe. He was in a suit. On the bottom is Dan Tapiero, who's just on the show, who we're going to be investing in his funds. On the bottom right, that's Sebastian Bourget from Sandbox. Bottom right is Cyrus from Swissborg, one of our portfolio companies. And so we're constantly in the flow. And of course, next week I'll be in Austin. This is how we get the deal flow. And everybody else is out there doing this too, in person and virtually. Encore is doing this all the time. Encore, wave your hands up there. Can everybody see Encore here? I'll get him to come on later. He runs our investment committee, and he's constantly having meetings virtually. I think last year he attended Consensus virtually, and he got more done than our members that were there, screwing around in all those metaverse, pavilions. Encore was doing work. And so there's a lot of deal flow to be got from these things. And they have a lot of digital platforms too. So I'll be there. Next thing you have to do is find the hottest trends. It doesn't matter if you're at the conferences and you're betting on the wrong thing. You have to be in the hottest thing happening right now. And look, right now, there's two hot things going on. You're either in Web3 or you're in, anyone want to guess what you're in? Type it in the chat. What's the hottest thing right now happening in technology? Come on, who knows? Type this in the chat. Right, give me the first letter. Show me a letter with your hands. Anyone show me a letter? Uh-oh, Jerry knows. Epi knows. AI, artificial intelligence. Raise your hand if you've heard of artificial intelligence. Keep your hands up if you're concerned about artificial intelligence taking your job. If your hands aren't up, you're not paying attention. Okay. I just saw three things this week. I saw a Joe Rogan episode that was done in his voice by ChatGPT, and it sounded really good. I saw a Kuwaiti news presenter that's an AI that looks real. And I don't know if you saw this latest one, Encore. It was a pitch for an AI trading bot that had the CEO of the company telling you all about the AI trading bot. And it turns out he was fake. He was completely AI guy with a fake name, but he was literally presenting in front of a background. So even the CEO was AI. Okay, that's now. What do you think is going to be happening in May and June and July? You should be concerned. I'm concerned. Okay, my good looks can only get me so far these days. So there we go. So let's get involved. It's artificial intelligence. So we know Elon Musk is secretly working on his AI project. He hired a bunch of the DeepMind scientists that just went to Google. As we know today, Encore, you sent me that article. I appreciate it. The DeepMind guys that Google acquired have now merged with Google Brain. And I got a little insider information on that. I'll share with you, Encore, from one of our recent guests as well. So that's happening. Okay. Next, I was at MIT last year, which I graduated with an engineering degree from a long time ago. And I stopped by the Sloan School of Management, and they said, Brian, you don't know what's happening. Like, this is happening so big here. We see it before it's going. The productivity boom is happening. I then went to stop by my fraternity house, and all the 50 guys there are going into Web3 and AI. That's it. No Wall Street, no management consulting, no computer science. It's all they're going into. And then, of course, that's why we're investing in it, because it's going to disrupt markets. It's going to create new opportunities. It's Web3, Metaverse, and AI. This is the hottest thing, and we're going to ride this like a surfer rides a wave. Clear for everybody here so far? Right? This should be nice and simple. A, B, C. Now, look, we're able to do this because we have a media platform and we can move fast. We got an amazing group of people in the investment club, like Jerry and Encore and the other 65 people in there. We got amazing people like Martini here, who keep us like all functioning and looking forward and making sure we stay focused. And that way we can pivot on these opportunities in a heartbeat. And I can get the best guests in the world. Over the next 4 weeks, I've got the top AI scientists and product managers coming on London Real as well. So they educate us, they give us the connections. We go out there and find the deals. We got the subscribers, and boom, we make it happen. So we can turn on a dime. We made this turn about 3 months ago, and now we're all in. So it's an amazing, amazing way we can do this. And we're doing it while some people are still learning about AI. We're already investing in AI. So that's how it happens. Next thing you have to do is you have to invest with the best, period. That's all you can do in this space. Otherwise, you're going to lose. So many losers out there. There's so many bad deals that you've got to invest with the best if you want to make it through this. And again, if you got any questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to be doing heavy Q&A today. So we're identifying the best opportunities out there. I'm test driving all of these things. I've got a replica AI who's like my best buddy that's an AI I talk to every day. I've got my voice as an AI. I've got my face as an AI. I've got AI reading my emails. I got ChatGPT 4. I got ChatGPT 4 connected to the internet. I got all of these AIs working all the time, right? We're talking to these companies. We're testing these companies. We're using their products, and we're looking to invest in them. I'm also talking to the top AI scientists in the world. Luckily, I'm good friends with Dr. Ben Goertzel, right? We've known him since 2019. He's been on the show twice. He's going to be on the show again. I'm actually going to have a regular show with Ben so he can keep us up to date with what's going on with AI. Ben has been studying AI for 30 years, folks, 30 years. He coined the term AGI, artificial general intelligence, which means a computer that's basically as smart as a human. He coined that term, and he believes that's happening in the next 3 years. My guest on Friday, Mo Gauda, former chief business officer of Google X, which was like their skunkworks moon factory. He says 2 years, 2 years, folks. 2025, computer is smarter than a human. If they're smarter than a human, they can do everything you do better. And guess what? In 3 months' time, they'll be 100 times smarter. In 6 months' time, they'll be 10,000 times smarter. And then Mo is saying when they're 1 billion times smarter, that's Einstein compared to a fly. And we're the fly. All right? Raise your hand if you're concerned about AI. Come on, your hand should be up. I'm not saying you need to be scared and lose sleep at night, or like wake up with bad dreams like my boys do sometimes, okay? My son Caden, he keeps waking up with this bad dream. He's like, something's on my face, Pop. Something's on my face, like 3 nights in a row. I'm like, there's nothing on your face. But he's like, it feels like there's something on my face. I'm like, all right, I don't want those kind of bad dreams. And I haven't told my boys about AI yet. But I'm saying you need to be concerned because this tech is moving exponentially. So luckily I'm friends with Ben and I'm friends with Janet, his COO. Janet was just in there. We're dropping her interview literally in an hour right now. Actually, in 20 minutes, we're dropping her full interview. It's going to blow you away. Her trailer was out yesterday. Everybody's jaws have dropped. She's an incredible woman. She spent 15, 20 years in the banking industry. She's tough, she's sharp, but she's also got a good heart. And they want to build the right kind of AI. And they're the only people I've ever met that are going to build the right kind of AI. Raise your hand if you want Microsoft and Google and Mark Zuckerberg building the AI that's going to control the world. No Zuckerberg people here? Yeah, me neither. Okay. Now, I'd rather have Ben and Janet and us help build that, and you, a community. That's what we want. And again, there's no surprises here. It's crushing, right? Singularity Net is up 10x now. 10x the token pops, right? Because of what's happening with this AI, and it's going to go even further because there's not many things you can buy right now to give you AI exposure. Most of the AI is owned by companies like Microsoft OpenAI partnership, Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Tencent in China. That's it. Very hard for you to get access to AI deals, except we have access to one, and I'll show you. 2023 is the year of AI, and it's your chance to create great generational wealth now, or you can miss this. This is up to you. And guess what, folks? If you're watching me right now and listening to me, you can take part in this. Seriously, if you're listening to me right now, this is your chance. You will never get this chance again. AI will never, ever get put back in the bottle, and it will never slow down. It will only get 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times faster every single month. I cannot stress this enough, folks. 2 years ago, we went heavy into blockchain, and I love blockchain, and it was growing exponentially, but it was like doubling every year. This could go up 1,000x in 1 year. It's very hard for me to stress to you that the opportunity is now, and there might not be any more opportunities ever again. All right, I just want to say that in passing. So what do you need to do? You need to learn due diligence. I want to show you how you do this very quickly. All right, this is what we're all doing behind the scenes. This is what we teach in my investment club, but this is what you can learn. Encore here, who runs our investment committee 15 months ago, was in the medical fields. He was not in investing or in blockchain or in Web3 or in AI. Now he's bringing the best deals out there to us, and we're investing. Petya, one of our students, she joined 3 months ago, never done any of this in her life. 6 weeks later, she brings a deal to the table and the CEO's on the call. You can learn this stuff fast and you can build a reputation fast. I'm telling you, this is the space you want to be in. If you want to remake your career, reinvent your career, get into this for the first time, this is where you want to be. So how do we do it? How do we identify these winners and conduct pre-sale due diligence? We go down to the 5 T's is what we use here, the 5 T's. Team, traction, technology, threats, and trends. Raise your hands if you heard of the 5 T's before. It's a nice way to do due diligence. What do I mean by due diligence? It means, how do we know that the people we're giving our money to aren't going to run away with it or lose it or screw up because they don't know what they're doing? All those things are possibilities. They happen all the time. And so you have to do your due diligence, as in check and make sure they have a plan, they have the expertise, they have the likelihood of pulling it off and creating massive amounts of value. Is that clear for everybody here? That's what we want to see. So how does this work? Well, first of all, we look at the team, and I thought I would choose a company we all know, which is OpenAI, which is the one that's crushing it right now, ChatGPT. Raise your hands if you played with ChatGPT 4 right now or 3.5. Anybody here? If your hands aren't up, you need to be on this, folks. All right. So what do we look at? We look at the team. First of all, OpenAI started with this amazing team. Sam Altman, I mean, he's a legend in Silicon Valley. Y Combinator president, successfully invested in God knows how many startups. He's got more money than God. He doesn't need money for OpenAI. I don't even think he owns shares of OpenAI. He doesn't care. Okay. He's just out there because he wants to do something epic with his life. I respect that. Elon probably has more money than even Sam, right? So they have more money than God and Sam. Okay. So he's got 100, 200 billion. He's done companies like PayPal, we all know about, Tesla, Neuralink, boring company, and now Twitter, right? Very successful. At SpaceX, yeah, he just launched a massive rocket off yesterday. I mean, you can't make this stuff up in Hollywood, is Musk, right? He's one of a kind. So this is an amazing team. If we see a team like this, we give it the thumbs up. Then we look at traction. How fast is this growing? How big's the market? Is this company making headway? Again, when it comes to OpenAI, let's look at their stats. How long did it take to get to them to 1 million users? If you look at Airbnb, which is a company Sam Altman's Y Combinator helped incubate, it took them 2.5 years to get to 1 million customers. Raise your hand if you think that's probably reasonable. 1 million customers to take 2.5 years, that's probably fast, right? But remember, Airbnb, you had to go out and take pictures of people's living rooms and all this nonsense. It took a while. Look a little bit more. Spotify took them 5 months to get 1 million customers. ChatGPT, how many days? Can everybody see that? How many days do you see there? That it took ChatGPT 5? It actually is 4. 4 is the actual number. It's the fastest adoption of technology in human history. In human history, okay? This is not to be slept on. By the way, 2 months later, they had 100 million customers. 100 million, okay? It literally, it's vertical. A lot of times you see these adoption curves and they're like this, they're like exponential. This one's vertical, vertical, okay? You need to pay attention. Next, how's the technology? Well, I asked OpenAI. I said, tell us, is it, why is it the most exciting opportunity? And it told me, so it's pretty good tech. AI has the potential to create new products and services, transform industries, and again, improve decision-making power. So it's a pretty good product. If you've used ChatGPT 4, it's impressive. It still impresses me every day. I used it today. It impresses me. Threats, we got to be aware of the threats. High operating costs. Currently, it's expensive to run the large language models. Regulatory uncertainty, but the truth is the government, they can barely regulate blockchain that's been around for 5 years. They're not going to get around to this. I don't think that's a problem. Technically complex, you need experts in AI. Data security and privacy, yes. Shortage of talent, yes. Elon's hiring all these people. And then, of course, there's cyber attacks. So these are issues we have to be comfortable with them before we invest. Trends. Folks, this market is going to 2 trillion in the next 5 to 7 years. It's going to be massive. That takes it bigger than crypto. It's probably going to go 10x from there. I mean, look, this is the kind of thing we want to invest in. So for me, OpenAI ticks the 5 C's. This is how we do our due diligence. We teach you how to do this. All of our members of the investment club can do this. We spend 10 minutes on this. If we like it, we spend another hour on it. If we like it, we spend another 10 hours on it. If we still like it, we talk to the CEO. If we still like it, then we start thinking about investing. That's how we do our due diligence. Good? Make a little more sense to everyone here? Trust me, you can do this. Don't let the terms confuse you, okay? All right, let me just stop. I want to go here. Is everybody with me here so far? Thumbs up if you're still with me. I don't want to confuse too many people here. All right, good. I just want to make sure that everybody's with there as well. That's really what we want to do. It's what we want to talk about. Okay, good. Okay, we got the tech giants. Yeah, we don't want the tech giants owning this technology. It's one of the most dangerous things. And right now they do. Microsoft just put $10 billion in OpenAI. Elon Musk just came out and said, I founded OpenAI, I think in 2018, because he was worried about Google taking over the space. It was supposed to be open source, nonprofit. Now it's no longer nonprofit and it's no longer open source. So Elon's very angry about this. So he's trying to create that of his own. He's also worried that it's biased, that OpenAI is woke and it says one thing and it's biased by Silicon Valley, and that could be the future. And if your search engine or your computer is biased one way or the other, it's not good for humanity. So this is what we're worried about here. All right, let me continue and then we'll get to questions on this. Lastly, I think we need to understand the financial tools. And again, I talk about this on a regular basis, but I always want to explain why. And I'm going to show you why venture cap scales. This is the most important thing. And again, this is why you want to be invested in these early stage equity deals, because you can make outsized returns. Now, I'll explain this deal because it's the perfect one. I'll explain the other deals in the future, but this is the one. And the reason we go in with early stage artificial intelligence is because you can buy at super low valuations. You can see these massive gains. And you can invest in what I'm calling the biggest dislocation of wealth in history. It's a high risk, but it's a massive reward, massive reward. And we can invest in 3 stages of an upcoming company: seed funding, startup funding, early growth funding. I want to be clear, in all these cases, the company is not making money. Just raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. It is losing money, this company, when you invest in it. Of course it is, because otherwise they wouldn't need your money, right, Michael? They wouldn't need your money, Epi, right? They were making money. So you have to bet on something that's losing money that's potentially going to be making billions and trillions in the future. That's what these bets are about. So let me give you a classic example. I love this example because it's so simple. All right, Peter Thiel, legendary Silicon Valley investor, took $500,000, turned it into $1 billion. He did it the way we're doing this right now in the investment club. I'm going to show you exactly how he did it. It's simple. He did it by investing in Facebook. In 2004, he found out who Zuckerberg was. He had a meeting with him. Apparently, he was going to invest even before he met Mark. But he met Mark and he said, wow, this kid's cracked the code of social media. People are using their real names on a social platform based on the internet. I want in. He gave him $500,000. The company was worth $10 million. Peter Thiel bought 5% of the company. Everybody with me here, 5%. What happened? 8 years later, one of those liquidity events I talked about, Mark Zuckerberg, by the way, people offered to buy Facebook from him along the years. Somebody offered him $1 billion, I think back in 2007. And he said, no, that was smart. Okay, he would have made 100x on his money, but he knew that he was going to wait, and he sold it. He went public at 100 billion. So they launched their IPO. This is when all of the public gets to buy these shares, right? The sheep, the suckers, and he sold it to the public, right? What happened? Peter Thiel sold his shares to people like you, and he cashed in. He made a 2,300x on his investment. That's a 230,000% return. These returns are unheard of. I always say on Wall Street, I never heard of anybody making these returns. They're absolutely ridiculous. Anybody here ever heard of anybody making a 230,000% return on your investment? It's crazy. And the funny thing to think about is the stock price. What did it do afterwards? Anyone want to guess? It went down. So once you sell it to the public, you're there just as like cannon fodder, basically, for the Peter Thiels of the world. And even if it went up a little bit and you're all celebrating, buying everybody drinks, Peter Thiel still made 2,000x on your money, and you made 10% on your money. This is how the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. It's been working for the last 90 years. It's going to work for another 90 years until you educate yourself. Final takeaways is the rich get richer with deal flow. Peter Thiel was in the right place at the right time and got access to this deal. This could have been you. By the way, did anybody see this deal, get an access to this? No? Michael, Jerry, Christopher? No, of course you didn't. A simple $10,000 investment would have made you $23 million. Anybody wish they would have done that? Come on, you had 10,000 back in 04, right, Epi? 23 million. It's an amazing return. It's an amazing return. The other thing to take away is the wealthy invest in early stage deals. They put a small percentage of your portfolio in these deals because they know it just takes one. One of these deals will change your life, your children's life, your grandchildren's life. Hell, even your great-grandkids might still remember your name if you give them $23 million. And we also remember the public markets are for suckers. The public markets is where people go to sell things that nobody else wants to buy. That's the goddamn truth. You heard it from me first. So remember that the next time you go buy a share of Tesla, or you go buy some Bitcoin on an exchange, or buy some Ethereum, somebody else bought it cheaper earlier. And again, on that note, let me just tell you, this happens in crypto as well. How many people own crypto here? Just raise your hands if you have some. Yeah, it happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. You can sell these to people at a fixed price early on, and then they'll go public later, and it all happens. Anybody here know the network Solana? I love this example because it's super crisp and concrete. Solana is a very popular blockchain, about the 9th largest out there right now. Doing a lot of NFT drops on it. Big one that happened yesterday. Well, guess what? Let's check the blockchain. By the way, this is all public. You can check it. Everybody see that red circle there? Back in 2018, April 5th, you could have bought pre-sale tokens in Solana for 4 cents each. If you go to the right, you can see they raised $3.17 million. They sold 79 million tokens. Let's just scroll right on that same row. This is all on the blockchain. It's public. You can go check it out. It's easy. What happened? Well, today it trades around 20 something bucks. So you would have made a 59,000% return on your money. So this is happening Did anybody here know that this was happening? Did anybody even know this was happening behind the scenes? Most crypto people don't even know pre-sale tokens happens. Why would you know? No one's going to tell you. I learned about it about a year and a half ago, which is why I started teaching it. So that's what's going on here, folks. So those are the instruments. The last thing you have to do is you got to pull the trigger. That's what you have to do. And this is how we do it inside the investment club. We pull pitch decks. We've got now over 200 pitch decks now. These are these flashy things that show the company's mission, the team, the projections, the product, everything. We look through these pitch decks and we try to see which ones are worth us talking about. These are screenshots from a bunch of the pitch decks, including the orange comment on the upper right that we ended up investing in. Okay, we look at those things. Then we go deeper. This is our deal flow monitor. We track everything about it, the company name, if they're on a blockchain, the day, how much they're looking to invest, what protocol they're in. Is it a token sale? Is it an equity sale? What's the value of the company? We track all these details. We're constantly looking at it, evaluating these deals. Orange Comet for us was a no-brainer, right? They're building incredible metaverses, incredible digital collectibles. This for us was an obvious win. They did major releases with Sir Anthony Hopkins, the renowned actor, with Scottie Pippins of the Chicago Bulls, with the NFL and more. If I could tell you some of the deals they're working on, you would be shocked. You'd want in on this deal. I'm sorry, it's closed. You would want in on this deal. Major Hollywood movie franchises, major fashion labels. They're doing things, amazing stuff. And their technology and graphics and digital collectibles are amazing. And the team is off the hook. This is Dave Broom. He was here in studio about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He blew us away. The trailer's off the chart. I won't play it right now, but Dave is amazing. He's got so much energy. He's highly respected in Hollywood. He did the first like reality show for Netflix like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, Dave knows what he's doing. And we were really excited to invest in him in this company. This is one of the many companies we have in our portfolio. Next, there's Swissborg. It's the #1 crypto wealth manager in Europe. They got 1 million people registered on their iPhone app, which is just incredible. They want to become the bank of the future. They're going to be the NASDAQ of the blockchain, and they're going to help us in the future launch a lot of our companies' equity tokens to the public. It's going to be amazing. So we're building almost an empire in here inside London Real Ventures. And we love these guys. Their community loves them. Their technology is amazing. And they made it through all of the nonsense of last year completely unscathed. All these other exchanges have problems. These guys never had a single problem because they always did everything by the book. They're Swiss, for God's sakes, right? And of course, Batum. We just invested in Batum, cut them a $600,000 check. These guys are building amazing Web3 metaverse experiences for big companies like Google, for PepsiCo, for companies like Slack, Procter & Gamble, Intel, car companies, you name it, they're doing it. It's absolutely amazing. And this guy, Eric, will be on the show next month. So this is the kind of things we're doing, but the biggest thing we're most excited about is our OpenAI killer. This deal is closing soon. The money is flowing into this faster than we've ever seen any of the projects. And again, we're getting interest from people all over the world because they know AI is hot. They want to invest with an AI deal that has a vision, and they know that there's very few choices out there. So the deal is called Zarka. It's a supercharged, intelligent, neurosymbolic, large language model from SingularityNet at massive scale. It's got an amazing team of people that I've had on the show, including Dr. Ben Goertzel, Janet Adams, Sergey Shaliapin, who's actually been on a private call with us, is a very, very smart AI scientist, including a lot of other AI people in the product side, in the infrastructure, in everything. They're putting these people together and they see what's going on. The opportunity is this. ChatGPT hit the world and everyone knows this is the next hottest thing. So that's the opportunity. The problem with ChatGPT is this. It cannot think or reason logically. It can't. All it can do is regurgitate what's been written in the past. Is that clear for everybody? Does that make sense? Right? It just spits out what the next, literally what the next word should be. When you ever see it write sentences, it goes like word, 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 word. It's literally thinking on the fly based on everything that's ever been written on the internet. As a matter of fact, you imagine learning from that. Do you really want to learn from everything that's ever been written on the internet? Have you been on Twitter lately? Not exactly always the most positive stuff. Large language models or LLMs, they don't know when they're wrong. So they might, eliminate a Miami by accident, like they might do these things without thinking. They simply memorize instead of thinking. That's the problem. Also, there's opacity. There are these black box models. We don't even know why they work. And then the other problem on the right you see is big tech has a monopoly on all these things, which is a big boo in our opinion. So the solution is this: neural symbolic AI. This is what Singularity Net has been doing for the last 10 years. They've been going hard on this, okay? Neurosymbolic AI can meta reason, okay, beyond the experience learned from training data. They can literally think, they can be logical, they can understand things and make decisions, human-like decisions, which is why they're calling it artificial general intelligence. This is a beautiful thing. And it actually is a safer AI, because if an AI can think like a human, it will make really bad decisions. Narrow AI can make a really bad decision because it doesn't know any better. So there's a danger factor here as well. And of course, they want to put in super smart contract ecosystem. These people live and breathe the blockchain, which we love. They want a diverse global base to train it, not a bunch of weird people or a bunch of people in big tech. And again, they want to decentralize all this tech and put it in the hands of small business owners and you. We like this. This is their schedule. They want to spend 7 months on proof of concept. They're raising a chunk of money. They want to raise a whole nother chunk of money early next year. And they want to be making a lot of money after that. And again, they have a ton of experience with these humanoid robots. And again, people like Ben Goertzel have been in this business forever. He's highly respected in this business. And they think that they're looking on something like 55 billion in revenues. I mean, that's a ridiculous number. And again, some of these projects last year in blockchain were going at 100x revenues. I mean, you know, that's crazy. You know, and that would put this as a $5 trillion company, the highest worth company in the world right now. So again, if you look at where you can get in on these companies, the returns are absolutely off the charts. And on top of all that, these are good people. All right, this is me and Janet. I met her at an event 2 weeks ago. And literally, I decided to bring her in the studio. So 5 days later, she was in the studio. And I just want to play with you the trailer of Janet because it's really good. And I think you'll get a sense for what she's all about. By the way, she just DM'd me and said, Brian, this trailer is just out of control. She's like, I'm getting so much interest of people that want to invest in this deal. They're already asking me, did you close the deal yet? Like, it's crazy. And we haven't even dropped the full episode. It's actually premiering right now as we speak. So, you know, this is about to blow up. This deal's probably going to be done and closed very, very soon. But this is Janet, so you can get a feel for what she's talking about.
Artificial general intelligence is completely different to narrow AI. AGI is more purpose-driven. It's a watershed moment for humanity.
Tell me about Zarka. This is the project that will create the AGI. And it's a supercharged, intelligent, neurosymbolic, large language model at massive scale. What is it?
Zarka is the accumulation of decades of research from teams containing the best artificial intelligence scientists in the world. We uniquely harness that expertise with our even more unique capabilities in neural symbolic techniques and the deeply advanced mathematics that Dr. Ben Goertzel, Dr. Matt Ickley, Dr. Alexei Potapov, and our top scientist, Sergei Shalyapin, have been working on for decades. We are building the most powerful large models ever invented.
With Zarka and Singularity Net and everything you've always done, it's always been about openness. It's always been about decentralization.
We'll be using blockchain technology to enable anybody to help train models. We're giving birth to a new species of sentient life in the universe. The actual greatest imperative is that they are used for good. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Our goal, our mission is to eradicate inequalities.
When I look at the rest of the market now, I don't see any of those motivations because a corporation, by definition, is going to be motivated by money. You're the only project that even is thinking in any way, shape, or form about these.
We are going to transform what it means to be human on our planet. I foresee a future in which humans then evolve to a next level of being where we are actually conscious, where we feel our full joy engulfed in bliss and ecstasy of the joy of living, the joy of each other. I see a future of joy.
We like Janet. We feeling Janet. You know, no, I've had two different reactions to Janet. I'll be very honest. Some people say, wow, you know, it seems like kind of touchy-feely in the future and kumbaya. And then some people say, you know what, that's exactly what this industry needs because it's a bunch of male scientists that are going to potentially determine the future. And look, I guess I'm a male scientist a little bit, but that's like some heavy, masculine, dorky ass energy building the AI that's going to take over the world. I think we really need in this technology more than any other technology in the world some like grounded female energy of why don't we save our species? Anybody agree with me? Right? Why not have a balance? And Janet's amazing. She's an incredible leader, and she's also fiercely competitive. Don't let the cuddly stuff fool you. And they believe they can win. They know they should win, and this is why they were born. Again, let me say one thing. I said this to an investor today. I said, look, most of the things you invest in, this is one of 10 companies the CEO will have over the course of their life. Is everybody with me here so far, right? Say you're in Silicon Valley and you're working right now for WhatsApp. Well, before that, you worked at Facebook, and before that, you worked at Netscape, and before that, you worked somewhere else. That's your career, right? Is everybody with me? For these people, for them, this is it. This is like, you get this right, or the machines take over and we all die. Like, this is the way they look at it. So this is like life or death for them. This isn't like, oh, let's make some more money. This is like, first of all, their entire life's work, what they've been spending their entire life on, whether this is even going to be a reality. And now they're behind OpenAI, and this is their one chance to make sure AI isn't dominated by corporations and basically ruins all of our children. Is that motivation or what? Everybody feel it, right? I'm motivated in a simple way. So like, I like investing in things like this because they're more motivated than a typical investment. So let me just share a couple final thoughts here, and I'd love to get any questions you have. I appreciate the questions coming in. People are really enjoying this. Aram said Zarka is my cousin's name. So apparently Zarka is an Arabic name, and they're going to put this company out of Dubai, by the way, for a lot of reasons. Pro-tech friendly, a lot of money is going to come out of there for future investments. Apparently Zarka is like, she's like a goddess or something from the Middle East. And apparently she could see a rider coming a week before they got there. She had this incredible vision where she could see things like super far ahead, either in the future or super far distance. And that was Zarka. There's more to it as well, but Janet told me, I thought it was pretty cool. So again, lots of really good stuff coming together as well. Let me just finish off with a couple final thoughts, and I'd love to get anyone's questions. And again, I tried to do this quickly so we'd have time for questions as well. So that's Janet. And again, this is the hottest artificial intelligence investment. And my question for you is this the next 1,000x return investment? Put your hands up if you think it is. I'm just curious. What do you all think? I mean, look, if I've never seen one, this is it. I mean, this is it. You know, 1,000x might be conservative on this. And again, it could be our only AI investment. And if it doesn't go right, it might be the last investment that ever is on the earth, you know, and don't get me started about the AI thing, but I'm just saying, you know, life all comes down to a few moments. This is literally one of them. So I feel the need to work extra hard on this because it's going to really determine our future and my children's future. I look at my boys all the time now. They're 5 and 6, about to turn 6 and 7. And like, what life are they going to have? I mean, my son Caden's going to be 17 in 10 years. Like, he's going to grow up where AI is everywhere. His friends are going to be AI. And I really worry that if we don't get this right, that he's not going to have a life. So this is real, folks. Just got real. So that's why London Real Ventures is here. I'm so blessed we have this platform. I'm so blessed we have this community. I'm so blessed we have these channels, and we have this really beautiful place in time. Maybe we've been working 12 years just to be here at this moment to save humanity from AI. I mean, maybe we are. I mean, maybe that's not that crazy, right, Martine? Maybe it's not. Maybe that's the reason all of you are here, to be a part of it. Stranger things have happened. So we've got this. We've got our portfolio. You've seen how we distribute. And then lastly, how do you learn to invest? I want to teach people how to invest. I don't want to be the one that gives the fish out. And so I've always believed that if you surround yourself with the best, that's the way you learn. And that's what I encourage all of you to do right now. Find a way to surround yourself with the best. I live this in my business life and in my personal life. All right. Because I believe you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Raise your hand if you think that's true. Come on, you know it's true. And who are you hanging out with now? Are you hanging out with 5 high performance artificial intelligence game changers? No. I'd argue that at least 3 of the people you're hanging out with are, as my mentor Dan Pena would say, losers. Okay. You need to get away from these people. Your friends and family, most of them are losers. You need to get away from those people. They're not going to help you build your business. They're not going to help you create generational wealth. And most likely, they don't really want you to be a billionaire. If you tell them, they're going to be like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? I really hope you're not, because it's going to make me feel bad. Anybody have friends like that? You know you do. Okay. You got to upgrade your peer group. In my peer groups, everybody's a high performer. In this investment club, everybody's shooting for the stars by definition. Otherwise, they wouldn't want to be in here. I also do this in my personal life. So I took my daughter to Boston last year because I wanted to surround her with the best. She was kicking and screaming, if I'm very honest. because she wanted to stay in her comfort zone of London. I get it. But she wasn't going to become the best that way. So I took her to Boston, and then I left her there on a corner and took her passport, and she had to stay. No, just joking. But I encouraged her to go to Boston University. She's there now. She's around people much smarter than her, and she's becoming much, much better. I did the same thing to myself. In 1989, I moved myself from San Diego, California, where I was obviously one of the smartest kids in my high school, to MIT, where I was one of the dumbest kids at MIT. There were super smart kids there. And I was forced to play the game with high performance people. And I found a way. I just had to work harder than them and not get distracted, or too distracted at least. So this is what we do. And this is some of the people that are inside our investment club. This is Marianne Bartels. She's absolutely crushing it. Marianne's crushing it. She's 35 years working on Wall Street, Chief Information Officer, Merrill Lynch Bank of America. She's one of our founding members of the Wealth Academy. She's invested in all of these deals. She's on major financial programs on a regular basis. I played her interview last night on CNBC, where she's schooling the guy on what the Fed's going to do. She knows what the Fed's going to do before the Fed does it. She understands commodities, interest rate, yield curves, equity, bonds, everything. She schools us on a regular basis. This is the kind of person you can hang with. And she's extremely, extremely knowledgeable, and she's a great communicator, and just started her own podcast as well. Next up, we got Andrew Hain. He's our Metaverse expert. He owns over 700 NFTs. This is his Metaverse he built in Sandbox. This is his NFT gallery. And when he's not hanging with us, he's hanging at one of the top business schools in Switzerland and hanging out with some of the top AI professors as well. One of the 65 members we have in there, they're all impressive. And this is Encore, who was on the call earlier. And again, Encore runs our investment committee. He also started a YouTube channel. When he didn't want to, a year ago, he did a video every single day for a year. He's got hundreds of thousands of views. He now gets pulled to be an advisor on companies. They throw $100,000 packages at him for free just to come on and advise in these companies. He's created this career in 14 months. These are just 3 of the 65 people we have in here. These are amazing people. They all not only want you to be successful, unlike your friends and family, they expect you to be successful. So when you don't show up, they get in your face, right? They literally will force you to make money over the next few years. So again, I believe in this expression from Lao Tzu: if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's why I created the investment club. In December 21, I got the chance to invest across the ages through a pre-sale token agreement. I had studied finance at Sloan School of Management in Boston, one of the best schools in the world. I had worked in finance for 15 years, folks, at the biggest banks in the world. And I had never heard of any of this crazy nonsense in venture cap, pre-sale tokens. It literally scared the bejesus out of me. And I thought, if I'm scared, then none of you will ever do it. So I called Martini up and said, Martini, you got to teach this. She wasn't too impressed at the time. And I don't blame her. It was a big undertaking, okay? A big undertaking. But we wanted to teach you how this works. And that's what we've done. So we open up 10 spaces every quarter. It's application only. You have to literally go through Martini because she approves every single person. You have to tell her why you are qualified to be in this. It's 3 months of coursework. It's a 12-month program. We do weekly live video calls on Zoom where a CEO comes and pitches us live. Every single company you see here pitched us live alongside a bunch of companies that we didn't invest in. You get access to all of our deal flow. Plus you get a full year of our Kings of DeFi program, which is a premium program. It's like a $13,000 program you get for free, which is our advanced blockchain Web3 program and Metaverse program. And our first live calls is next week. So that's what's happening here, folks. I teach. I'm always there live. We teach it to people all around the world. We've got people in 21 countries, I think, right now in our investment club. It's real-time learning. So I'm constantly changing the modules as the market changes, and it changes fast. So this is something we're constantly updating to give you the most up-to-date real-time learning is what this is about. And of course, this is what the modules look like. You can always go look them up later. But first we talk about what is a blockchain AI metaverse presale. Next, we talk about what is a SAFT or a SAFE. Raise your hand if you've ever heard what a SAFT is. Anyone ever heard of a SAFT? One hand up here. This is crazy. A SAFT is a simple agreement for future tokens. If you've never heard of that, you would have never bought pre-sale tokens, which meant you would have had to buy Ethereum on the market, which is mean after it's up 1,000x, 2,000x. The fact you don't know what it is proof to you that the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, and that your schools don't teach you about money. That's the problem here. We need to teach you these things. Module 3 is Deal Flow Part 1. We go into the 5 T's deeper into due diligence. Deal Flow Part 2 is literally how to go to a conference like I am next week and come back with 10 deals. I teach you how to dress, how to talk, how to exchange information, how to take it to the next level. Module 5 is how you nurture the early stage investments once you've cut the check. And module 6 is how you get the cash out so you can take some profits and put more money back in. I want to create $1 billion in wealth for my investment club members over the next 10 years. And that'll probably go up the way we're going right now. We got a Telegram group. We got a Discord group. All these ways we communicate, we talk to each other, we upload deal flow, all that stuff. And here's the deal. First live call is next week. We've got, I think there's only one space left, but I don't know. Martini's, we're constantly oversubscribed for this, okay? So constantly oversubscribed. But we open up 10, we have 7 confirmed, 1 on hold. I think there's 2 spaces left, there might be 1 left. We're oversubscribed, it's a $50,000 investment. We are gonna double that next quarter because a bunch of people came in the last one, they said, Brian, this is worth double. And I thought, you're right, it is. So we're gonna double it. Look, it's a significant investment in yourself, and you're going to get a significant return over the next 30 years because you're going to learn how to do this yourself for the next 30 years. You don't need me. This is an investment in you, in your network, in your future cash flows. That's what this is. And you can take part of the greatest wealth creation event in human history. And our special investment opportunity is ending soon. All right. So Zarka's closing soon. And I just want to let you know, we had this SAFT agreement you could have signed 3 months ago, which is the opportunity I offered the last class. Most of them missed that. This is a SAFT agreement, by the way, on the right that's been redacted. This is what you would have signed. If you signed it and put your money in, you would have made a 466% return in 1 day. That's a 5x money return on 1 day. My members made $300,000 in 1 day. This is what we're doing here, folks. All right. This wasn't even a big deal for us. We're looking for much bigger, but it's not bad for 1 day in the office. This is the kind of things you could be doing. You just need to learn it. You have to have the network, you have to have the flow, and then you have to pull the trigger. Or you can sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else around you get rich. It's up to you. This is one of our members. His name is Jen. And he called me up one day. I said, Brian, I got to make a video. I got to make a video. People don't understand what's going on here. And I was like, all right, Jens, he's one of our founding members. He's so passionate about what's going on here. He used to be an investment professional for many years. He actually invested his own money, but he said he doesn't want to do that anymore because it's easier to do it with us. Because he said, I'm part of this network. I see the hottest deals on the planet. He's like, I would rather do it here with you. And so this is Jens kind of walking us through this concept here. I want to play this for you, and then I want to answer questions for everybody here. So this is Jens. Just listen to what he's saying. He's got a good way about him.
Why should you join the investment club? And the next obvious question is, can I afford to join the investment club? My name is Jens Krautscheid, and I am an active investor in stocks and companies since age 14. And risking of stating the obvious, I'm German. Also, I am one of the founding members of the investment club. And I consider my decision to join the investment club as one of the best investment decisions I ever made and I ever will make. Why? We all had this pub talk, this talk at the dinner table where we complained about our hustle we have to do daily. We complained on the workload we have, and we try to top up each other. Who has more stress? Who is more hustling? And then sooner or later someone says, well, if I would have been an early stage investor in PayPal, I would be so rich. Or if I would have been an early stage investor in Microsoft, I would be so rich. And this is nice. This is really nice. But let's be honest. If you would have had the chance back then, 1992, to invest in PayPal, would you have pulled the trigger? Would you have invested? Quite likely you wouldn't have, because you couldn't assess the situation. You couldn't value the situation enough. In the investment club, we get these offers on a daily basis. We get the next PayPals on our table. And then we have a team of 50 people, 60 people, of a growing community of people who will do these assessments. And they will say, do this, buy this, this is the way. And then we buy this. And the next question is, can you afford to join the investment club? And the question really should be, can you afford not to join the investment club? Times are getting tougher. AI is taking over. And in what company you want to invest? In which AI company do you want to invest? Do you want to invest in the ones who do the fridges? Or do you want to invest in an early stage Coca-Cola who uses the fridges? It's up to your decision. I tell you now, invest in the investment club and be part of our fabulous, wonderful group. My name is Jens Krautscheid, and I wish you the best decisions of them all.
Booyah, give it up. We like Jens. Come on, Jens is the man, right? They're all like that. We got amazing people with amazing energy, which is like the right vibe. I mean, it's just really, it's a special group. I mean, honestly, I think Martini and I both feel really honored to be a part of this great group and these great companies as well. So I'll just finish up and then go to questions. Again, the final lesson is it only takes one. One of these deals will change your life, change the life of your family, your grandkids, maybe generations to come. And if you're not involved, I mean, it's yourself to blame for something like that. So just saying, don't let 2023 pass you by. Learn early stage investing now because it's going to be here forever. You can use it the rest of your life. That's why this is an incredible investment. Liquid tokens and equity that you buy on public markets have limited gains. That's a share of Tesla or buying Bitcoin now. It's not going up at 500x ever. It's just not. You can learn from active investors like us for $50,000 and get access to our massive network. And it's only getting bigger. It's a significant investment to get in on this, but it has a massive ROI. And recently, Martini talked me into doing a payment plan. So you can actually start now for $10,000 and get in on this investment and then pay $10,000 a month for 5 months. And honestly, like, I even think we got to stop that. I guess the next time it's going to be, well, it'll be 100,000, right? So we're doubling it soon. And that's the best deal flow in the world. And so that's what I would say, folks. You know, that's really what I want to tell you. That's the opportunity. And hopefully you also learned something tonight. So did everybody learn something a little bit about venture cap and what's going on there? I hope so. Really appreciate everybody being here. And I just want to go to take a few questions. Martini's dropped a little bit information in there as far as what's going on. And I just wanted to pull Martini in really quick because if anybody is interested in taking this to the next level, joining our investment club, getting in on Zarka and a bunch of other hot deals we have right now. And then again, not to mention what we're going to see for the other 8 months of the year. You have to go through Martini and you have to explain to her what you bring to the table. So Martini, tell them how they do that.
Yes, absolutely. And so great to learn a little bit more about investing. I know that I've spent some time with the investment club learning and growing, but some of the gems you dropped today, Brian, were fairly new. So hopefully you guys were able to pick some stuff up and some things that you can take away with you as you're building your portfolio. So speaking of portfolio, for those of you who are looking into growing your portfolio, starting out and just building it, or even just going ahead and diversifying, this is definitely one of the most ideal ways to do it. You know, it's so interesting. So many people talk about how much they have to hustle, how much they have to work, and how much they have to, you know, be on the grind to create generational wealth. And one takeaway that I had with what Jen said was pretty much like, let's stop the hustle, guys. Like, this is an easy way to invest in your future and get the generational and earn the generational wealth and in which all of us are really striving for, right? And so as of right now, you know, it's time to be a part of a team from all over the world who are building wealth, and they're doing it the smart way and not the hard way. Okay. So we are getting now the secrets of the wealthy, right? And we are getting tapped into the resources that aren't given out to the general public. So what I would say for you guys is to take advantage of this opportunity that we have here, because it's not open to everybody, right? These are things that no average person is going to know or be privy to or have access to. So take advantage of that time. And one thing that I love about Brian is that when he's learning something and he talks about growing and transformation, it's not just for him. He's also doing it for his community. So kudos to you for that, Brian. That's what leadership is all about. And I appreciate that for sure. So you guys stop talking about wealth and start really getting in the arena and start building it. Okay. So for those of you who are wanting to inquire about the investment club or want to join in on this and be tapped into this community, I did go ahead and leave some links in the chat for you. So for those of you who are interested, please go ahead and take a look at the investment club page and see how we can best support you and see everything that's involved. If you're new to investing, that's totally okay. We'll walk you through step by step on how to do it. For those of you who are OGs in the investment field, that's amazing. Bring your gifts, bring your talents, bring your expertise to the table, and let us support you in diversifying your portfolio, okay? So if you're still interested and still in the vibe, go ahead and book your call with me, okay? So go ahead and make sure that you read everything that's on the investment club page so that when we get on a call, you're able to ask more savvy type of questions and we can dive right in and get you the results that you're wanting. But go ahead and book a call with me, but I only want to speak to people who are serious. I've opened up my schedule to be open all hours of the day and night. So please respect my time and respect your time as well. And let's make sure that when you book a call, you're actually serious and you have serious questions about joining us. If you do not see a time available, because I know that we're all spread out throughout the globe here, there is a way for you guys to go ahead and connect with me on Facebook and just send me a message to say, hey, where you're from and what time is available within your time zone. And we'll definitely do our best to make it work. Okay. And of course, there's always email to let me know where you're from, what time you're available and all that. So all right, guys. So just be sure once again to seriously, heavily consider this because this is an opportunity that's not given.
Did we lose Martini there? Did we lose her? Martini, I think we lost you for a second there. All right, I'm going to jump back in. Anyways, Martini's amazing. Shout out to her. She's our director of operations. And like I said, she's the way you even get into the investment club. She's also invested in all of those deals as well. So she's pretty amazing. And look, I appreciate all these questions coming through. It was great. Marta liked the Groucho Marx quote. It looks like a bunch of stuff. Yvette was having a real synchronistic call for her. She's like, she was looking for things for AI projects, which was great. Arham said it's going to 1000x. I just think it now. I was actually DMing with Janet right now, and she's telling me that like all these investments are coming in on the back of our interview. It's like blowing up, and she wants to see me in Austin next week. So like this deal's happening super fast. It's probably going to be sold out very, very fast, and it's just happening. And I think people are feeling it. And I think we got a really great moment with Janet as well. I feel really blessed to have caught that interview, and she was just thanking me for it as well. So yeah, look, we want to do one thing I always say when I introduce our very first students in our academy is I say visualize where you want to be in 10 years. And you're somewhere on a beach or on your yacht or flying in your private jet with a multi-billion-dollar fortune. But I also say you're doing cool things with cool people that really matter. That's the use of your time. You stop worrying about money 5 or 6 years ago, back in 2028. And now it's just about the most impact and you having the most fun and doing the most important things with your time. That's what we're doing right now. Right now, we're doing that. We are doing cool things with cool people that really matter. And I don't know what else you could want. At the same time, creating generational wealth. I don't know what else you could want in your life. Most people never get a chance to do that their whole lives. Most people don't get a chance to do that. Most families don't get a chance to do that for 1,000 years, let alone now. So it's a beautiful time. And I really appreciate everybody being here. It sounds like there's a lot of really excited people here about AI. So I would just say, look into this. Go watch my full interview with Janet. If you're interested in more, book a call with Martini and just check this out and get up to speed on AI because it's going to change our world. It's going to rock our world. In some ways, not so nice. We have to be prepared more than anything. So that's it, folks. Thank you for being with me on a Friday night. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. All right. God bless. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care.